Yeah. Welcome to the Fish Out of Water podcast, episode 2. We got a special one today. This is the Pink Floyd episode. I'm gonna take you on the journey to when I first discovered Pink Floyd and to where I am now with Pink Floyd. I'm going to have a guest call in, my boy Pat, been a subscriber to my other channel since day one of the Fish Out of Water series. He actually has put in a lot of great ideas and started a lot of what's going on with the Fish Out of Water series in general. So definitely one of my most loyal and most actually has become one of my friends, not even just a subscriber. Like, I speak to Pat more than I speak to a lot of my friends that I live around here, and he lives way in Denver. He's a writer for the Denver Nuggets. He's a pretty cool guy. Can't wait to get his input because he is very, very well versed on Pink Floyd and just music in general. My first Pink Floyd experience starts with Comfortably Numb. That's the first song I've ever heard from them. It's a song from Dark Side of the Moon, which is my favorite Pink Floyd album because that's my first introduction to them. But after listening to Comfortably Numb, I didn't just run and go listen to the Dark Side of the Moon. I was still doing my regular reactions. The next song I vividly remember, Shine On You Crazy Diamond. That song made me go listen to a Pink Floyd album. Now, granted, I didn't go listen to Wish You Were Here because that's what Shine On You Crazy Diamond was on. I remembered the name Pink Floyd from Comfortably Numb, so I went back and first listened to Dark Side of the Moon. And when I tell you it was set up so perfectly, like it was divine intervention. Like it had been a couple of days. It might have been a week. I still was just reacting to random songs. That wasn't Pink Floyd. I was just building my channel. And then one rainy Saturday morning, either Saturday or Sunday, it was raining. I couldn't sleep. I said, I'm going to listen to Dark Side of the Moon. The best idea I ever had in my life. So I put on the headphones. I have the window open. The sun is rising. Like I'm never going to forget this day. The sun is rising. It's not quite all the way up. It's raining. I can still hear the rain in the background because I really don't listen to music too loud in the headphones. I try to keep my ears as good as they are. And the way Pink Floyd starts off with the heartbeat, sonically, it grabs you. It grabs you right then and there. I was locked in. And from that heartbeat into Breathe, I was on a rocket ship into a whole nother planet. I literally felt like I was in another dimension. Who are these people? Where did these guys come from? How are they able to get in a space as musicians to create these notes and these melodies and write these songs lyrically that really go straight to the heart and the mind? It really touches all senses. You can feel what they're saying. You get the goosebumps from the guitar. The melodies are just so out of this world. I was blown away. Then I got into Pink Floyd's The Wall. Mind you, I had then listened to Dogs, High Hopes, Hey You before I even got into The Wall. So I was just scattered all over the place. People just started requesting all of Pink Floyd, just all over the place. Not necessarily albums, just all over. I'm everywhere. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. But I then take time out of my day, don't react to anything, don't do anything, and take my time and listen to The Wall, which was a much more engaging listening than Dark Side of the Moon, because Dark Side of the Moon wasn't really conceptual. The Wall was heavily conceptual. So after the first time listening to it, because I listened to it straight for the guitar bars, the melodies, just for the musicianship and instrumentation. You kind of got to get that out of the way first when it comes to Pink Floyd, because if you're trying to follow the story, it's so many beautiful solos on this album, it distracts you. So the first time I listened to it, I just listened to it and enjoyed it. The second time I got into the story, the losing his father, the cheating wife, the overprotective mother, him losing his mind, like all that. Him being isolated, heavily isolated, because his mother kept him heavily isolated. I got into all that later. And then I've just really recently looked at the Wall movie. What's up, Pat?
What up, Trey?
You know what we here for? This is the Pink Floyd episode. I need all your knowledge and wisdom to guide us through this. I've just recently spoke on my first discovery, from Comfortably Numb to Shine on You and all that. But
Great.
I would like for you to speak on your first discovery of Pink Floyd.
All right. Well, actually, I'm excited to do this because most of my friends are very sick of me talking about Pink Floyd. I've been kind of going down the rabbit hole the last year or so. But like most people, it started for me with smoking pot and tripping acid back in my late teens, early 20s. And then I wanted to get a better idea of them recently, the last couple of years. So I went back into it as a sober person, and I'm discovering that I like them even more now. So that's kind of how it goes.
Okay. Well, that's how I was too. I was still smoking at the time of when I first discovered Dark Side of the Moon. So, and I was strictly hip hop before I even started this fish out of water stuff. So you can only imagine how the instrumentation really affected my ears when everything is so electronic in hip hop for the most part.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually recall some of your early listening to Pink Floyd, and you were noticing some of the things that have been sampled in hip hop, and I think there's a lot of crossover there.
Yeah, a lot. Too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still recovering from that Rolling Stone Top 100 bullshit. That was a mess.
Jesus Christ. I was on that all night. Because I just couldn't believe somebody would even print that. Like, who? I don't get it. That's a whole nother video right there. It's a whole nother video.
You might need a follow-up to that one.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to say about it is how in the world, first of all, is Mariah Carey number 34, or not Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, and then they've got Art Garfunkel, but not Paul Simon. What the fuck is that?
They had Bobby fucking Blue Band.
Yeah, that's what I was just laughing watching your response to that. That was pretty hilarious.
What the fuck is that? I don't know. So,
but moving forward, not sideways, I'll let you get back to Pink Floyd.
So my favorite Pink Floyd is still Dark Side of the Moon. What is yours?
The first one that I got into was The Wall, because, like I said, I was smoking a lot of weed, tripping acid a lot. And there was a period in my first apartment where my roommates and I would watch the movie The Wall just about every day. That and Dazed and Confused, we would just get stoned and watch it every single day. So for me, it started with The Wall, But honestly, these days, my favorite album by them probably "Wish You Were Here."
Wish You Were Here, yeah. It's also a phenomenal album.
Yeah, very underappreciated just because it followed up Dark Side, of course.
Yeah, and which I don't get because it's kind of, to me, musically in the same vein, to me, besides
Very
being
much so.
besides being sad. You know.
It's extremely dark, and I think the main reason that it, well, I mean, there wasn't radio songs. The only radio song on it was "Wish You Were Here," unless you count "Have a Cigar," which didn't get played on the radio a ton, at least to my knowledge. I was a little kid when it came out, so,
Well,
or in fact, I wasn't even born when it came out.
I wouldn't imagine "Have a Cigar" being played on the radio because of the content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no way that got out of radio play. If it did, it was just on like underground college radio.
Yeah, it would have to be.
But yeah, that's a very underrated album in my opinion. It's just unfortunate that it came after Dark Side of the Moon. They were never going to be the same band after Dark Side.
And I was going to look at my Dark Side of the Moon reaction, but I realized that they blocked that. They blocked that recently. Just recently.
Oh yeah, David Gilmour. He's learned a lot about the music system in the last 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, I see.
So,
I usually get my Pink Floyds off, but whatever, it is what it is. I didn't listen to this album bored enough anyway.
But yeah, Dark Side is an incredible album. It's hard to pick a favorite. It's just those three albums are definitely their holy trinity.
I just think Dark Side for me, just because it was my first introduction, is gonna be like my first piece of pussy. Like I'm never gonna forget that.
Oh yeah,
It's
very much like that.
It's just what it is.
It's the one album that holds together the best. It's the most cohesive album by far.
Yeah. But is there any other Pink Floyd input that you have that I may not know about?
Well, I've been taking a deep dive, and like I've gone all the way back because, like I said, I was born after Pink Floyd basically were breaking up. So I wanted to put it all in order and figure out exactly when things happened and why they happened. And basically, people don't give enough credit to Syd Barrett and the influence that he had on David Gilmour. A lot of people don't even know that those two were close friends as children, and it wasn't a matter of David Gilmour just taking his place as Syd was kicked out. They were all basically still teenagers or in their young 20s when they started, and Syd went crazy pretty soon after that. But a lot of his musical style is what Dave went on to do. A lot of the slide guitar, a lot of the echo stuff, he wouldn't have done if it weren't for Syd. So Syd needs more credit than he gets. Sure.
Yeah, see, I had discovered that too. Once I've reacted to the whole "Wish You Were Here," I realized how tight knit they were, and it's like yin and yang. They needed each other.
Yeah, exactly. If it weren't for Syd's deteriorating, "You Were Here," Dark Side of the Moon, and The Wall, a lot of the content wouldn't make any sense. It would just be about Roger Waters writing about his dad over and over again. It's basically those two elements are the biggest songs that they wrote about was Roger Waters' dad dying and Syd Barrett.
Yeah. Yeah, he really wrote about his dad. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
And that's another thing about the band is all of them the three main lead singers had issues with their family. Roger, David, and Syd all basically grew up without their parents. Well, Roger had an overbearing mother, so it's a little different for him, but he never knew his father. Syd's dad died when he was very young, and David Gilmour's were off exploring the United States while he was a kid, and he was off at school. So
repeat what you're saying about putting the songs in chronological order and how long it took you, and give your social media information and all.
Yeah, right on. So I work for the Nuggets. So like I was saying, once the Nuggets are out of the playoffs, which they finally made it last year, but I've got a lot of time on my hands after that, and I was still in work hard every day mode, and actually partially to you and your channel going through Pink Floyd, I got back into them so much, wanting to discover if I still enjoyed them while I was sober, and of course I do, which is great. But anyway, went down the rabbit hole, wanted to make sense of it all, and I started from the very beginning. 1965, they had their first demo album, and I just put 15 hours or so work a day for about 3 weeks into it, and made a chronological list of all of their studio stuff, including all of their side projects that each member did. And it's all completely in order, and you can find it on my YouTube page, which is Patrick Rasmussen. And if you wanted to search it, it's got a non-catchy name. It's called Have You Got It Yet? The Complete Chronologically, The Glorious Cautionary Tale of Floyd. And it's all there. It's lots. You'll never listen to the whole thing, but it's a good database to look up Pink Floyd stuff.
And I'll put the link in the description, so just in case they can't find it, they should be able to find it there.
That's a lot of words, too, and people aren't sitting here rewinding to hear all that. I'll send you a link to it.
Okay. Okay, now you gotta give me your top 5 Pink Floyd albums, and then I'm gonna let you go.
Sure, yeah. Sounds good. I'm not gonna put them in order, but Moon, Wish You Were Here, Metal, The Wall, and Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Not because it's necessarily the best, but because it's absolutely necessary.
Okay. Well, it's good speaking to you, Pat.
Yeah, you too.
I'm gonna wrap this up, and then I'm gonna get to editing and all that extra shit.
Yeah, edit all my weird talking out because I haven't had my coffee yet.
All right, well, you have a good day.
All right, later, Trey.
See, Pink Floyd has connected me with so many different people all across the world in a unique way. Because some people like Pink Floyd. Some people love them. But when you get that connection that a lot of the people I speak to and the people that I've put onto Pink Floyd, it's different. It's a certain kind of Pink Floyd connection where it's beyond fandom. You get to discovering their lives and what went on in their music really connected with the actual person. And it's just a beautiful thing. I'm really glad that I discovered Pink Floyd from doing the Fish Out of Water series. And, okay, we here for it now. I guess I'll give y'all my top 5 Pink Floyd albums. No order, but the ones that I revisit the most. The only thing that's going to be in order is obviously Dark Side of the Moon. That's going to be number 1. Everything after that falls wherever. So, Dark Side of the Moon, Animals, Wish You Were Here, The Final Cut, The Wall. I was going to say The Vision Bell, but I definitely listened to The Wall more than The Vision Bell. And that's it, man. I just wanted to speak on my journey into my Pink Floyd fandom. I'd like to thank Patrick for coming on to the show, giving vital information. I'm going to put the link to his channel because he has the Pink Floyd catalog in chronological order. So if you are a big Pink Floyd fan, it's like walking through the Pink Floyd Mall. He has it all from beginning to end. And it was fun to dig and go through that whole experience too. So, till next time, I appreciate y'all listening. This was fun. I'm out of here. Peace.